Everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Great Black Speakers Podcast, where we connect through conversation. I am your host, Lawrence Watkins. I am the founder and CEO of Great Black Speakers Bureau. I'm also the president and chief operating officer of the Black Business School. And today we have a very special guest. We're here with Chanel Martin, and Chanel is the founder of Beyond the Book Media. Beyond the Book is a company that helps small businesses and brands write books in 7 to 21 days and publish quickly. And you can find out more about her company at beyondthebookmedia.com. So today we're talking about how to write your bestseller in 7 to 21 days. So Chanel, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Well, it's my pleasure for you to be here. So can you tell the audience a little bit more about Beyond the Book Media and how you've gotten to this point in your career of owning this company?
Oh, yeah. So it's quite an amazing story. In 2019, I wanted to write another book. I had self published my first book, 31 Prayers for Spiritual Wealth. And I knew that there was another book I was supposed to write. So I was struggling to actually get it done. And so I decided that I was going to solicit help. So I get on my Facebook page and I'm like, hey guys, anybody else writing a book? I need help. I'm struggling. And I said, you know what? If I can get 10 people that are interested in writing a book, I'm going to form a little group called Write With Me. And I did. I got 10 people. So I said, you know what? We're about to start this Facebook group. We're going to do a 2-week book writing challenge and we're going to get this book done. And so 10 people turned into 50 people, which turned into 100 people, which we're nearing a year later, almost 3,000 people. And so after we hit about 300 people or so, and this was all organic, and we were finishing up our manuscripts, people were asking, well, I know you published one book. Can you help me publish another book, my book? And I said, well, that ain't really why I started this. So I went and I found people that helped other people publish books and I brought them in as sponsors. Well, what happened it was there ended up being some integrity issues with some of the people that I brought in. And so I said, you know what, after really just praying, I was like, I'm going to help them because I had helped people self publish before, but I had never thought about turning it into a business. And so Beyond the Book Media was born to literally help those that were in my group that kept asking me for help. And so I legitimized the company. The group started February 14th of 2019, and Beyond the Book Media was born March 21st. So about a month later, I said, okay, I'm going to actually help people.
That's awesome. So, did you have a background in book publishing beforehand? I know you wrote your first book, but is that what your career was before you started this company?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, if we want to go way, way back, I have 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in chemical engineering. And I became a chemical engineer because I wanted to create beauty products and create technology surrounding beauty products. And I said, you know what? I'm going to work for a Procter and Gamble or a L'Oreal or different things of that nature. And so I was like, I could become a chemical engineer. And I ended up getting my master's degree in it. And I started a beauty company called Texturize, but we operate by the name of My Ivana. So me and 3 other ladies that I went to Georgia Tech with, and that company just really got a lot of national exposure very early in our career. We won tons of awards. Well, I'm also a mom of four, and so after about getting near, I'm pregnant with baby number two. It's time for me to, I can't do the startup world anymore. So I stepped down, and I felt a really call, a tug to go into ministry. I know one of those stories, right? To go into ministry. And so I began that process. I am now an ordained minister at this moment. And I just really wanted that time to spend with my family. So this is about 2015. I mean, 2016, actually, when I took that journey. And so in between time, I started doing consulting because people kept asking, uh, me questions like, well, how did you guys do this? You guys won all these awards. You raised this amount of money. And I started under the advisement of my husband, who was like, okay, you ain't doing nothing. Why don't you start a consulting company? So I was like, all right. So I started Panther Claw Consulting Company, and which really focused on helping faith-based entrepreneurs build and grow their brands using business strategies that I've learned at startup accelerators. I did the whole. I mean, I'm talking about like the textbook tech startup thing. That was me. I did all of those things, and I use a lot of the lean startup principles and things of that nature that I had learned to help coach and train other small business owners that were of faith. So I told you my first book was 31 Prayers for Spiritual Wealth, which is a book for business owners praying through their business. And that's how I wrote that book, because I was doing a prayer pray for your business challenge. And I know it's all like kind of running together. And so that's how I literally landed. And right when I wrote that, because I have been teaching everything from crowdfunding to raising money to building a brand to getting media press, people were like, well, can you teach me how to write a book? And so I kind of started doing that on the side. And then that led to the group and starting Beyond the Book Media.
Wow. So I have so many questions, as you can see in chat, that I've typed over here,
Yes.
for you. So you went to one of the best engineering schools in the country in Georgia Tech,
Yes.
chemical engineering, Nesby Region 3. Shout out to everybody in Nesby, Region
Okay.
3.
Yes. I was an SB
I'm
member.
Yeah, yes. I'm a double E by trade, as
Okay.
well. So, talk about that then in terms of, I guess, making that transition, because people wouldn't really equate what you're doing now with Beyond the Book Media to what you were doing before with, let's say, chemical engineering. So, you know, what did those skills you learn, I guess, going through engineering school, working, I guess, as an engineer in the chemical engineering space, what has that taught you, and what skills were transferred to what you do now with Beyond the Book Media?
Oh my goodness, so many, right? Number one is I am an excellent problem solver. So one of the skills that I picked up in chemical engineering is we solve problems in school. We solve problems backwards, right? So they give us a problem and we got to figure out everything in between. And so the way that I approach strategy is I work backwards and I'm able to fill in the blanks really, really quickly. And so that's why when everyone in the group was like, who's gonna help us publish? You know, for me as a natural problem solver, I said, well, I can figure this out. It can't be that hard. So that's one thing. My ability to solve problems is far above average. I say that. Number two, my understanding of processes and systems. As a service based entrepreneur, one of the things that I understand is I understand what I want my output to be. So I know what my input has to be. And so, really seeing things from a process helped me to have really good customer service systems. Our clients are really, really happy with the work. I'm a stickler for making sure that everyone knows where they are in their process, is properly communicated. And I actually got that from being a chemical engineer. And so even though I'm not working in the field, I will say that my ability to execute and to solve problems is just amazing.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you're also, and I agree. I mean, I think that's one of the best things that engineering taught me was to, how do you systematically think about, challenges and problems in your business
Mhm.
or whatever, and then how do you create a set of rules and, I guess, a framework to recreate and scale beyond yourself. So recreate, I guess, the success that you have with you doing the work, and how do you recreate that for other people when you start,
Right.
I guess, hiring others to do the work for you. So you start to work, I guess, on your business instead of in your business. And I think, that's personally what engineering taught, for me as well. But I mean, I think the even more amazing piece is that you are a mother of four,
Yes.
right? So talk about that a little bit in terms of what does your day look like, I guess, from even a work-life balance perspective,
Oh
because you have
wow.
four kids, and what's the age range of your
Oh,
children?
they're all little too.
Oh,
6,
okay.
3.5, 1.5, and 2 months.
Whew.
I know.
Okay.
Yes. Every 2 years I was having a baby.
So every 2 years having a baby,
Mhm.
and you're a mother with four young children,
Yes.
four, like
Yes.
four. Yeah,
4.
four young children. And and it's hard for me to even get over.
Right.
How does it work? I mean, how do you run this business and manage being a mom of four children?
Okay, so we talked about Georgia Tech very briefly being one of the top engineering schools now. I was a dual degree student, so I went to Clark Atlanta University here in Atlanta, Georgia, and the motto there was "Find a way or make one." So I have this find a way or make one attitude, plus my ability to solve problems and operate efficiently and effectively under pressure. Because that's all they did at Georgia Tech was pressure us, and to be relentless in my pursuit of what it is that I need and what it is that I'm trying to go for. So I am essentially one of those people who, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So if that means that I'm missing out sleep, if that means I'm not Netflix and chilling, if that means I'm not kicking it, then that means that I'm going to do whatever it takes. And so a lot of sleep has been sacrificed, a lot of understanding what I call grace moments. Grace moments are those moments like right now is a grace moment. My son is asleep, right? Those are those little small windows where if you can focus all of your energy and your time and you have strict goals that you can actually get a lot done. And so I've perfected the strategy of finding, okay, I got like a 2 hour window, I got an hour window. This is what we're going to do. That's number one. Number two, my husband is amazing. He supports me. He's always been supportive. We met at Georgia Tech. We're both chemical engineers at the time. Neither one of us working in the field. He's a data scientist now and developer, but we partnered together, and it started to become a little bit easier once COVID hit. um, and the reason why, because now both of us are at home, and he could always work from home, but he decided to work from home now. Of course, well, they made him, but he's working from home now, which helps me to get some time. Now, as of 2020 in this here month, we are doing virtual learning. So that's that right there. I'm still trying to figure out, if I'm being completely honest. One of the things that I did, since I do have a fairly young child, was I had to be realistic about my time. And so I am operating my business extremely part-time. But I have, in the year and change we've been a company, I hired people to help me. And that's another thing. When you have a very tight schedule, you have no choice but to outsource. And so it's almost a blessing in disguise, because when you feel like you have an open window, you're likely to try to do everything yourself. And here I am thinking, like, okay, how much money I got? How much time I got? Yeah, we're going to find somebody who's going to take care of that. And so now I'm on a reduced schedule where I only work Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and some Saturdays, and I work extremely part time after our school hours. So I just started that. Y'all check back in with me in about 3 months. I'll tell you if it worked.
Well, tell me how that makes you feel, doing that and having to scale back your career in order to help to manage and I guess the growing family that you have, right? So that's a relationship dynamic that a lot of people face, a lot of couples, that type of thing. And tell me how I guess your emotional state of doing that and how you're getting through.
Now, that's a really good question. So, I was an entrepreneur before I had children. So, I had all my kids in entrepreneurship. So, this is all that I know. Like, literally, you have some people who had kids and they were working and they did the whole daycare thing and all that. And so, when they transitioned to entrepreneurship, it was probably a big different something that was probably difficult for them. But because I had my first child as a full time entrepreneur, I've always been home. I've always kind of molded my life around my children who don't go to daycare, who I am their primary caretaker. So I've been a somewhat work at home I'm like the tip I am the picture for mompreneurship, right? I mean, literally, and I can say that, and my business is doing well. My business is making good money, even with me working part time. But it was something that has been difficult, because I feel like I would be a lot further along, had I had more time. But then I think about, well, would I really, would I really have spent that time working on my business? So again, it's forced me to be very strategic and to evolve quickly and to fail quickly. And so that's pretty much how I've been doing it now. now we're 4 kids in. We're about to get a nanny. We've had nannies in and out, but now I can't. I'm over it now, right?
Well, I got one baby, and we got a nanny up in here that comes 9 to 2 every day. So I definitely understand. My wife's an entrepreneur in the yoga space as well. So
Okay.
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I asked that, because what you're going through, and if we decide to have more children and that type of thing, um, you know. Four. That's just that's like an extreme number for me to just kind of think about.
Can
So
I
I just
tell
want to
you
know.
something though?
Yeah.
Okay, I read an article and I did not believe it until it happened. I read an article that floated around Facebook that says once you have three or more, it's like kind of easy. And I hate to
Mm,
say that, like, because I want people to be like, "Oh my gosh, you're a super mom."
yeah.
It really doesn't feel like it's a difference. One,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of hard, even two. But once you get to three, and especially since mine are all around the same age, they literally just like play with each other. And they come together and
That's that's
here
what
go
somebody
one
right
right now.
there. That's right.
See, I
There
knew
goes a little one.
one is always making an appearance in here to get them. But yes, so it pretty much gets easier.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And that's the thing during COVID too. I mean, it's just like the kids is gonna be around, right?
Right,
Like
exactly.
yeah, so that's just what we're working through right now. So you have all
Right.
these beautiful children around, and yeah, when we get back from this quick break, I want to talk about people writing books, and what do you tell them, and what are their challenges, that type of stuff as well. But before we do, as a reminder, everyone, I'm here with Chanel Martin. Chanel is the founder of Beyond the Book Media. Beyond the Book Media is a company that helps small businesses and brands write books in 7 to 21 days and publish quickly. You can find out more about her company at beyondthebookmedia.com. That is beyondthebookmedia.com. And y'all really need to show Chanel some love today, because, with them 4 kids around and still running this business, she deserves all the likes possible for this
Yes,
video.
give me
So
some likes.
actually, yeah, on the count of three, if everyone can press the thumbs up button on YouTube, we would really appreciate it. So
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Go ahead and press that thumbs up button to show Chanel some love.
Can I
Make sure that you
can I
share and subscribe
interject
to our
really
YouTube
quickly?
channel as well. Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Okay, so one of the things that I did in this company, Beyond the Book Media, because I'm a serial entrepreneur, as I mentioned, was I made my company very family friendly. So like that was very stressful for me with previous doing my like my consulting work. And I said, you know what, we have small kids. And I before I would even do a live or an interview or something like this, I would always make a point to say, hey, I've got 4 kids. This is our life. Kids are unpredictable. You might see a special guest come in on this video and just try to make my audience aware and my community and my clients aware that, hey, I am a parent just like you. And I feel like that helped me to become more relatable and for people to really want to do business with me and to work with me, because a lot of us are our parents.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. And I mean, I guess everything's accentuated and accelerated, and I guess, shown more of just through this times of, COVID as well. And I guess the word that people keep throwing around is grace. And I think it's, so true.
Right.
Just, show everyone a little bit of grace during these times, because, everyone's just trying to make it. But then I think by happenstance for a lot of people, they found that it's a beautiful thing to, have your children around, you in your day while you're working, that type of thing as well. So I love, having my daughter here with me every day. I love having the nanny too, but I love being able to go out, out of my home office, and then, see her, smiling face, playing with, her little toy house, or we just bought her a trampoline or whatever it may be,
Yeah,
and just seeing the smile on her face, and, growing and developing. And those are experiences that you can't really get back, and that you should really cherish, because a lot of times, entrepreneurs especially spend so much time working, trying to make their business successful. They forget about all the other things that help to optimize their life, and that add joy to your life too. So, no, 100% agree with you on that
absolutely.
front. All right, so now let's get into some book stuff.
Okay,
So,
sure.
how many books total have you written at this point?
Okay, so we don't want to count my master's thesis. um, Honestly, I've written my very first book was a fundraising ebook. So I'll say one, let's see, 1, 2, 3. So I have 2 books that I've published per se, and then I have two others that I'm working on. So I'm working on a journal slash planner, and then I'm working on a anthology of stories for people to express their feelings during Black Lives Matter. So we have a tentative title. I'm going to change. It's like Black Lives Do Matter, where we collected about 40 stories from people that were affected. So those are pretty much it. But I've been helping other people get their books. I don't know. I've helped
Well, that's my
thousands.
next question. Yeah. So my next question is, how many people have you helped? Well, I guess you can look at it as two different ways. Let's say write books and also actually publish the books that they've written.
So I've helped thousands write books. We, kind of like the McDonald's sign, right? Remember when they used to give a counter of
Yeah,
how many
millions and
people they
millions
served? I
sold.
stopped counting after we hit like a
Yeah.
hundred. I stopped counting, but we've helped thousands write books. We host. Well, at one point we were hosting quarterly writing challenges. Now we've reduced them to twice a year. We have one coming up in September, but I've helped thousands because I have created a 7 and a 21 day writing system. So, which has been proved to be really useful and helpful for people who want to write generally expert driven books. So, books that are quick reads that are going to teach you how to do something, which is why I focus on brands. Now, help publish. I want to say that we have, oh gosh, I had all my metrics written down too, somewhere between 40 and 50 uh, book projects we have either finished or are working on within the past year.
Oh wow, so 40 or 50 book projects. So these are
Yes.
the small businesses and brands that are coming to you. So
Yes,
talk
correct.
about that because most people in this space that you talk to, in terms of who have a business, let's say similar to yours, they're focusing on helping, I guess, individuals. Uh-oh, my green screen went away. Everybody, I don't know what happened. Yeah, yeah, the jig is up. You guys saw,
I was
you guys
wondering if
saw my
that was
actual.
like a green screen.
Yeah, yeah, it is a green screen. So we're just gonna have to do it out right now. Let me see if I can get this working back again. All right, cool. There we go. But yeah, yeah, yeah. So most people help. What's it called? I guess individuals. And you talk about like brands and small businesses. So how did you decide to focus on those? Well, what do you mean by small business and brands? And then how did you decide to focus on that as your niche for this business?
That's a great question too, because it was very intentional. When I first started, because I didn't know I was going to have a company, I was doing this thing called share your story. So I just wanted people to write stories. So we were getting people that were sharing like a lot of just life memoirs and different things of that nature. Well, that's not necessarily my ministry. What I was doing before, I was a business consultant. And I worked help people build brands and fundraise and things of that nature. That is the small niche audience that I had, especially faith-based, that I had before I even got into book publishing. And so when as a business owner, you always want to find the people that you enjoy working with. And so I realized that I really loved working with small business owners and brands, because I am one and I could speak to them from their language. They're busy, they want to get this done. They're typically writing these books because they want to increase exposure, create opportunities for themselves. And now those were things that I was naturally good in. And so I felt like I could speak directly to them. And so once I did that, I even niched down even further where I realized that I target service based women, uh, small business owners and brands. And that ended up being an evolution over time after realizing, okay, well, who do I speak to? How can I serve them? Who can I serve the best? And that's what we came up with.
Yeah, let's go deeper into that then, right? So you chose small business like a service women,
Hmm.
to help them out. So you mentioned that a brand or a small business would want to write a book for exposure. So
Hmm.
talk, from your perspective, go a little bit deeper into that in terms of, how would someone or a small business or a brand actually use for the business owners that are out there, just let's say they are in carpentry or I don't know, just something or,
Right.
yeah, whatever it may be. how would writing that book actually help them, like with exposure, and then where would that fit into their overall, I guess, sales process?
And so, okay, a lot of what I was doing actually before then was helping people gain more exposure, because that was something that we did so well in my startup, and we barely, if not ever, use a publicist. And what I realized was that a lot of people who want exposure don't really have anything set up. They're not ready for the exposure that they want. Everyone wants to have PR and publicity, and they didn't really have a story. And so I was helping people craft their stories. Well, what we realize is that if you are a small business owner or a brand, you have an expertise in something, right? You are serving someone, and there are going to be other people who either want to learn from you or they want you to teach them. And so what we did was we created a brand within the brand. So the company's Beyond the Book of Media, but the brand is Your Brand Needs a Book. And so the reason why we did that, because we shared that we found that a lot of small business owners would love to get some sleep coin, right? Some residual income. And writing a book, I call it, is the gift that keeps on giving. You write it once and you can sell it for forever. Literally, it will last forever. That was another thing, that books last forever. They will outlast you. So even, let's say, if something were to happen with the business, the information is typically still going to be relevant and you can continue to make money. Although I really don't do business coaching and consulting, or help people with fundraising campaigns, my fundraising ebook is still very relevant because they are timeless principles and people still buy it. um, Another thing was, a lot of people are looking to get booked for speaking engagements, right? We are in an age where, an age of where people want to learn alternatively, of course, like what you guys are doing. They want alternative education that they can't get in college. And so a book positions you as an expert to both teach and train and speak. 9 times out of 10, if you show up with a book, a lot of people are going to assume automatically that you know what you're talking about. You took the time to put text on 100+ pages that you must be an expert. And so you look attractive to your customers, you look attractive to your clients, and you are also doing a service to those who may not be able to afford your products and services, or may want like a little introduction. So those are some great things that actually writing a book. And because my writers, and it's funny, me and my editor go back and forth because she's like an editor's editor, right? And I had to tell, I said, these are business owners. Like, they're not trying to, they're typically not trying to hit the New York Times bestseller list, right? They want to be an Amazon bestseller, which we help them do that, but they really just want to get their information out. So they're writing quick reads, 100 pages or less. And that's what my strategy, my 7-day writing formula does. It just takes the stress out of people thinking that they have to have a 300-page novel just to share A, B, C, D, E, F, G about their skill set, their business, and their brand.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that a little bit in terms of your writing strategy. So just give us a quick overview, of your 7 or 21 day strategy. So, what does that look like to be able to finish your book in 7 or 21 days?
Right. So what I've done is I have a planner that I developed that I give away free, a 7-day writing planner, which one of the main things we realize that a lot of authors, those who are aspiring authors, I'll say that want to write books, but they're not necessarily considering themselves an author, as they bypass the outline. And so I created a planner that helps them to outline their points in their book into smaller pieces that help them write. Then another thing is, I estimated how many words a minute someone can type. And about, if you dedicate about 3 hours a day or so writing, I tell them that you can have 100-page book with 6 chapters. And so we help them break down their points into 6 main topics and
And how many days?
subtitles.
So 21 days they can do that, you mean?
Well, in 7 days.
Oh, 7 days. Okay,
Yeah,
you have six chap.
so we have a
Okay.
7-day formula. The 21-day, I do expand it out to 10 chapters. And the reason why there are two different ones. So the 7-day one is free, and we do a boot camp for those who may have heftier content or more may want to go a little bit slower. And I have a 21-day formula, which is an expanded version of the 7-day formula. But yes, if you spend about 3 hours a day and you write a chapter a day, which we help you outline that, Like the bulk of the planner is getting your outline, and if you follow the time constraints, you'll have a book done. But a lot of people aren't sitting down, for 3 hours straight writing. But if you do, you can.
Well, let's talk about writer's block then, in terms of people knowing what to actually say. So, what would you say to a small business owner, or a brand who has a book in them? They have an outline for the book, that type of thing, but they may just be experiencing writer's block in terms of how to communicate their expertise to the world. What would you say to that person to get over, like, to get started actually writing their book and get over any type of writer's block they may be experiencing?
Right. So first time, well, from what I've realized of people who typically have writer's block, they don't have an outline. They're just free writing. You're gonna have writer's block if you free write, because you don't know what you're writing. You don't know when your story begins and when your story ends. So you absolutely positively cannot bypass the outline. And I hear all the time, "Oh, I'm not good with outlines," or "I don't need an outline." And when you and from non-writers, right, people who that's not what they do for a living, I can always tell when you did not use an outline. Your story is all over the place, because you may have picked it up here, dropped it off there, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm done," and you don't read it again. So when you write that outline, that is going to be an immediate step that's going to help you overcome writer's block. Also, another thing that I suggest is in my strategy is to break your writing up into 20-minute increments. So even though you might be writing for 2 to 3 hours a day, you are only writing at 20 minutes a time at a time. So you're going to do for 20 minutes, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to write as much as I can, and then I'm going to stop. I'll take a 2-minute break, get up, walk around, and then I'll come back in 20 minutes. What that does is it limits distraction. I talked earlier about grace moments, right? So if you know you only have 20 minutes, you're not going to sit down and write and pick up your phone and scroll social media, right? Because you've tricked your brain into thinking, I only got 20 minutes for this session. And so that's another thing that helps you to stay on task and to stay focused. So those are the top 2 points that I suggest, just really that help you overcome writer's block. Another thing, and the final thing, is going to be stick to a similar schedule. Like, get your mind, your brain, your body used to writing at this particular time, so you'll automatically know, like, okay, at this time, right? It's like developing a habit to going to the gym. Every day from 5 to 6, you're going to go to the gym. Your brain will already start getting you excited about your writing sessions. So those are my suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, I love all those suggestions in terms of having like an outline, and then also the 20 minutes on, because that's how I actually do most of my work throughout the day. I'm a big follower of the Pomodoro method,
Hmm.
of time management. So basically, that is, you work for 25 minutes, you take a 5 minute break. You work for another 25 minutes, you take a 5 minute break, and then some people work for a third 25 minutes and then take like a longer 15-minute break before they actually get back to work again. And that structure, that rigidness, actually works well for me in regards to like getting things done and seeing how much I can actually get done in a 24 hour, or excuse me, a 25-minute time period. So it's good to know that that actually works for writing as well. And just so since we're on the same subject, there's a couple of questions in here from the audience. So first, well, first, let's just get out the way. Where can people get your planner? Where can they go download this planner that you keep talking about for free?
Okay, so you have to go to, let me make sure I'm telling y'all the right thing. I should have had this already set up. I believe it's Beyond the Book Media / 21 day planner. I'm typing it in right now so I can make sure I'm giving you guys the right thing. Excuse me, y'all. I literally just got off maternity leave. So
That doesn't.
my brain is no, it's 7 day planner. That's the paid one. 7 day planner. Here we go. Let me make
All right.
sure.
Drop that in the
Oh my
chat for me if you can.
gosh. I am okay, so I am not finding it right now. I will give you
Well,
guys the 21 day one.
oh shoot, we get something special today.
I'm gonna
All
drop
right.
the link for the 21 day planner. Now, it's not right now as it's set up right now. It's not free. It's $4.99, y'all, but it's $5. Oh, I cannot
Okay, so it's
find the
five
one for
dollars.
the
Okay, cool.
it's a $5 planner. It's digital. It's the same thing as the free one. If I can figure out,
Okay,
like I
here we go.
said,
I'll put
I'm
it
gonna
in chat
see.
right now.
I'm gonna see
All
if I
right,
can
cool. No,
find
that's
it.
good. Yeah, we'll just go that, and then you
Okay,
can
all
give me
right,
the other
cool.
one a little later on. Yeah, yeah. So the other question is, Outlander wants to know, can I think it's a she? Can she use this formula with creative writing as well?
Yes, 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 and yes. You might want to use the 21-day one just because creative writing typically tends to be a little bit longer of a process because I find that it's easier to write about your expertise because you've like lived it, and creatively you might be you might need a little bit more inspiration, but we do have some creative and fiction writers that have used the 7-day formula for sure. Like we have about one, two, three, four, not four fiction authors that I know of, five fiction authors that we've published books for, or are currently publishing books for, that have used this process.
All right, everyone. So we're here with Chanel Martin. We're gonna wrap up. I hear a little baby crying way in the background over there, and they have to get back to mama duty. But she's the founder of Beyond the Book Media. They help small businesses and brands to write books in 7 to 21 days and publish quickly. You can find out more about her company at beyondthebookmedia.com. That's beyondthebookmedia.com. And I also put a link to her 21-day planner in chat. So check that out. It's only $4.99, so it's $5. So check that out and support this mother of four with all children
Yes.
underneath the age of 6 years old. So between 6 years old and 2 months old, and that's pretty amazing to me to be able to run
Thank
this company.
you. Thank
So show her
you.
some love by giving her some thumbs up. Hey Brandy, Brandy Woods is up in here. So hey Brandy, it's good to see you. Yeah, so give
Hey.
her some thumbs up, and then also share and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you would like to receive more financial content like what we've been producing here with Chanel. All right, so Chanel, where else can people find you? So is Beyond the Book Media the best place, or is there anywhere else that you would like to send them?
Yes, so you could definitely, of course, learn more about our company on beyondthebookmedia.com. I am also on all social media outlets under Chanel E. Martin. That's on Facebook, that's on Instagram, that's on all of them, TikTok, YouTube, all of those. So you can find me at Chanel E. Martin anywhere. But you can also visit our website at beyondthebookmedia.com.
All right, perfect. Well, something new we've been doing for the last, I guess, few months or so is ending our interviews with five rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
So just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind with these five things. Number one, what is your favorite business book of all time?
The business model generation. Am I saying that right? Lord have mercy. I
Oh,
can't remember.
Business Model Generation by I
I
forgot the
think
guy's
that's what it's
name.
called. I see it in my mind, but yes, I believe that's what it's called. Yes.
The book with all the drawings. Is that what you're talking
Yes.
about?
Yes. Yes. I
All
love
right,
that book.
cool.
Yes.
All right, cool. Number two, what's number? Oh yeah. Are there any CEOs or companies that you're currently following that you would like to emulate within your business?
Yes, so I watched the series that they had on Facebook. I'm probably gonna jack up their name, Hermes, the bag, and I loved
Okay.
how exclusive they were. And I would ultimately, believe it or not, like to provide such a stellar experience, but also have an exclusivity about us, which we ended up doing that recently, where we made it where anybody can't just roll up on us and publish with us. You have to go through certain criteria. So I thought that was amazing.
Okay, cool. So the luxury brand of book publishing for,
Yes.
for brands. All right. Number three, who is your favorite historical figure from Black history?
Who is my favorite historical person from Black history? Oh gosh. I mean, I'm really trying to think right now. Without being like super cliche. I'm just gonna have to go with Harriet Tubman. I know as
Okay.
cliche as that may sound, but
Actually, that's the most popular answer, one of the three most popular answers for the Black Business School audience. So Harriet
really,
Tubman, yep, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, and Marcus Garvey are the top three. Well, Marcus
wow.
Garvey number one, Malcolm X, then Harriet Tubman. But yeah, that order. Yep, yep. Okay, perfect. So you'll fit it right in if that's who you love. Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get at night? I'm curious about this answer actually.
4 to 6.
So you're still getting 4 to 6 hours of sleep? Okay. Yep, yep. So all right, cool. I know you have to wake up every few hours and everything, but all
Pretty
right, cool.
much.
Yeah, yeah. And my last question is, if you can go back in time and tell your 20-year-old self, so I guess let's say your junior year at Georgia Tech, what would you go back and tell yourself at 20 years old? What advice would you give yourself?
Don't rush. You have time. I feel like that caused me to fail classes. That caused me to do things prematurely because I always felt like I was running out of time, and I realized I'm not running out of time. And that's the number one issue. One of the number one issues I'll say that I find that new entrepreneurs face is I understand moving quickly because you don't want to be too slow, but we feel like we have to rush. So even in the book publishing industry, people come to me and they want a book published in like a week. Now we will publish quickly, but like, what's the reason for this week? They want it now, 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 now. And it's like, no, take your time. Things will happen as they should. Everything happens the way it needs to happen. As long as you put your best effort forward, then it will happen in its right time, in its right place, in its right season. So I mean, that is the advice that I live by now.
Wonderful. So, Chanel, thank you so much for giving us about 40 minutes of your time on this interview. We really appreciate it. And we know how busy you actually are right now. So, today, everyone, we've been talking with Chanel Martin, excuse me, Chanel E. Martin. Chanel is the founder of Beyond the Book Media. They help small businesses and brands write books in 7 to 21 days and publish quickly. You can find out more about her company at beyondthebookmedia.com. That's beyondthebookmedia.com. And please make sure that you check out her 21-day planner. I put that in the chat link below, but it's just Beyond the Book Media slash 21, so 21
Mhm.
day planner backslash again to end it. No spaces, nothing like that, no dashes. So please make sure that you check that out. And before you get out of here, please go ahead and press the thumbs up button, share, and also subscribe to the Black Financial Channel if you'd like to receive more financial content like what we've been producing today here with Chanel E. Martin. So on behalf of Chanel, my name is Lawrence Watkins. You all take care, be blessed, and have a wonderful day. All right, bye-bye.